Modern football is, for the most part, great fun. Football as a standard is improving, and a big part of that is the fans, everyone getting behind their teams, singing, chanting. It's the getting to be part of something bigger, feeling like you're part of some big community that is absolutely colossal. But as much as that's fun, and as much as on pitch things are getting better and off pitch things are fantastic, there is a plague affecting British football. And in my opinion, it is tragedy chanting and hate that is spreading throughout modern football, and it needs to stop. So in this video, I'm going to take a little bit of a deep dive into what tragedy chanting is, smooth, why people do it, how it affects fans, a couple of examples, and why, at the end of the day, it just needs to stop. This is going to be one of those videos where, like, there's the occasional uncomfortable topic. If you want to tap out at some point, go for it. But I'm going to start out by answering, what is tragedy chanting? In essence, this is something that we know. Fans will sing about anything in football. For the most part, it'll be about their own triumphs and their own victories. As a Leeds fan, an example I can think of, Jermaine Beckford scored a fucking great goal in the scum shithole. Brilliant song about our own victories, and also it manages to fall into the second category. It's a disparaging song about the other side, but it's still all good because it's talking about on-pitch stuff, it's talking about general sort of cultural stuff and vibes. It's brilliant. The issue is tragedy chanting is where that crosses a line. It's where it goes from a place of harmless fun, just singing your heart out about your team or your past victories against the other team, into nasty stuff. Specifically, this references stuff like fatal or deeply unpleasant accidents and incidents within a club's history, or things relating to a club's culture that everybody wants to get away from. Because not good, because bad. There are plenty of examples of tragedy chanting that have happened significantly in recent years. It's something that has seen a big old uptick immediately following COVID. I don't know why that is. It could be a thing where people that had been stuck inside for a few years just wanted to make some noise and wanted to get into people, which I can see the motivation, but I don't enjoy it. But there are plenty of examples, and these are all ones that have happened significantly after the COVID era. And I've put them into categories again. So you've got your fatal accidents, the Munich air disaster with Manchester United, where they lost a significant proportion of the football club and it almost folded. There's Hillsborough, where many a fan passed away because of an incident that happened in a stadium. Tragedy chanting in these cases directly relates to those instances and is singing to the clubs that suffered from that. So Manchester United, Liverpool primarily. In addition to that, there are songs about cases of fan violence. So not specifically chanting, but when Leeds United played against Manchester United for the first time in front of a crowd upon Leeds' return to the Premier League, there was a lot of Munich air disaster stuff, which is bad. And the retort from the Manchester United fans included printed out flags from Turkey and singing about the incident that happened against Galatasaray a long time ago, where Chris Loftus and Kevin Spate were stabbed to death during a European away day. Also not good. And cases of fan violence are things that will be sung about for a few reasons. Again, I'll get into those in a few more minutes. But in addition to that, there's stuff outside of football that people will sing about. And another Leedsy reference here is it'll be stuff like cultural touchpoints. Stuff that anyone in the ground knows and understands, but they also know that it's disgusting. Specifically, Jimmy Savile, he's one of your own. And it might not seem as bad as the other ones, because in theory, there's no death related to it. But there are many ways in which it can impact fans. The first of which is that it can unearth some deep-seated traumas. For example, imagine you are an older fan and you were at Hillsborough on that day, and someone starts singing about one of your worst experiences. Or you are a Leeds fan that was supporting the club on those Champions League nights and you were over in Turkey and you got to witness that. Or you were anyone who has dealt with sexual violence or anything like that in the past, and then suddenly everyone is singing about one of the most prolific offenders in British history. That's not great. and it can make what is normally a fun experience of being at the football into something that is deeply unpleasant, something that people want to get away from, and that's not what the beautiful game should be about. It shouldn't be about, "Ha, we made the other side really, really sad." It should be, "Ha, I supported my team and had a great time regardless of the result." In addition to that, it ramps up the anger of the match. Manchester United or Leeds United, when those songs are going on between the two clubs, it's going to be a lot of anger between the fans, and it's going to ramp up and up and up and up. And it's really happy to be angry. It's really hard to be happy when you're really angry, and that's what happens in these situations. And at the end of the day, that only leads to more violence. Specifically, you just have to look at the case of when Leeds played Norwich City this past weekend, and a Leeds fan got assaulted by, I think, reportedly 3 men, or at least 2 have been arrested and they're searching for a third, specifically referencing the Galatasaray incident. It started with the tragedy chanting to try and get a response from a Leeds fan. It got a response, and then a violent assault happened. And it only leads to things getting worse and worse and worse, and the culture of football gets more toxic as this happens. And it's something that would be so easy to move away from, but there are reasons that people do it. The first one being to rile up a crowd. People get that weird satisfaction when they see someone from the other tribe feeling bad or angry. You feel like you've had a little victory, and you feel like that might help you on the pitch. And that is a big part of taking football far too seriously. We keep seeing this, where online, after something like a boring 2-2 draw, people will lose their heads and demand better. And this happens across the world of football. No one is chill in the social media age about football results, because there's always some way to be outraged. And this is just a way of ramping that up within the ground. And in addition to that, some people just do this chanting because the people around them are. And it feels good to be a part of something. Hell, some people might not even understand what it is they're chanting about. They might just hear the words, go, everyone else is singing that, I'll get involved, and hop in. Which further worsens things, to be honest with you, because then it sort of ingrains in a club's culture. This is a song that we sing. We don't know why, but the other side is getting some deep old trauma and bad feelings from it, which isn't good, so don't. When it comes to tragedy chanting, if you hear people around you doing it, don't. It's that easy. It'd make football a hell of a lot safer because it reduces the level of anger and violence and over-investment throughout the game. It removes a hell of a lot of the risk from some people that go to football matches. So, like, for example, if you are a parent going to an away day with your kid, and that chanting happens, things are going to get nasty after the match. And you can't guarantee the safety of that kid because who knows what incident can happen afterwards. There's been things like pool balls thrown from a home pen into an away pen in this season, which can cause very serious damage to people. And I think this form of chanting just ramps that up even higher and causes more problems. And without it, everyone can enjoy the game more. It's happier, it's safer, it's healthier. So just don't. Although I imagine that the people in my community don't, because I've tried to foster a nice, happy, healthy group here. But either way, I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comments down below if you've had any history with this form of chanting, what your opinions are. If you think I'm wildly off the mark for some reason here, just let me know. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, all that stuff. And I will see you later.